Hello again. I've just spent 5 minutes looking around my basement, where, as you know, I've been holed up in my office for a while. During the move in December, I culled a great many things, so the room is much less cluttered than the one I had in the previous house. One of the main things I see are pieces of electronic equipment, phones, a Wii, a subwoofer, and speakers, along with a disused printer. All these things, and many more, have played a role in my life. I tend to be an early adopter and an early discarder of electronics. In my previous home, there were things which I had bought 20 years ago when they were cutting edge, and it's a long time since they were supported by any software. So there they sat, forlornly gathering dust, until I tossed them out last fall. Generally, they were replaced by the most up-to-date version of the item that I had set aside. During this time of COVID-19, in all aspects of our lives, we are going to discover that there are things which we thought were essential but have turned out not to be. On the other hand, we are likely to discover that things we thought were less important are vital, and there will also be new things that perhaps we did not know existed, which we have discovered, and they've made an enormous difference to our weathering the present situation. An example of this is that a week ago, my dad had no idea Facebook Messenger existed, and now he's happily using it. It's sometimes hard at this juncture to remember that we're still in the season of Lent. Lent is a time when we are to take stock of our faith. We are to look around, rather as I did earlier in my office, to see what's there. What have we set aside? What are we still using? And what should we take up? Traditionally, this is a quieter time in the life of the church. Things like baptisms, confirmations, and weddings do not happen. And in some parishes, all the regular activities are cancelled in order to give us time and space for reflection. This year, such a way of doing things has been forced upon us. I've spent my time reading two very different books, which I chose before the current situation began, but which have both been very appropriate. One is about the resurrection of Jesus, and the other tells the story of the Battle of Britain. Usually, I try to read a secular and a Christian book during Lent, as I find they often shed light upon each other. This year has been no exception. Both deal with victory out of almost certain defeat. Jesus in the tomb returns to life. Britain faces Hitler's forces and is on the brink of defeat. What have I learned to help with COVID-19? In both cases, the time after the event was different for all those involved. Jesus was resurrected and sent his disciples to continue his mission. Britain was greatly diminished in its global power after World War II. But nonetheless, there was a continuity and new things happened. The lesson applies to us and our journey with God, but also more generally to our country and beyond. Some things will be kept, some left behind, and others taken up. Thank you again for listening, and I trust that you're keeping well. Don't forget that there is a litany every evening at 6 o'clock. And can I take this opportunity to say, God bless and stay safe. Goodbye.